Hello everyone, it's Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode Breaking Dawn. Hope everyone's doing okay and everyone's doing well. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. You could be as kind to do that for me. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you everyone who's joined me today, of course, guys. Now let's get straight into it in regards to Manchester United. Manchester United have been in the market, as we know. Lots of rumours going around Man United, lots of disagreements. I mean, there are a few, let me say, a few less fair people in their analysis in regards to INEOS, in regards to overwhelmingly supporting them, you know what I mean, without any backup, you know, and that is exactly what I would say about that. Do you know what I mean? Take off your hat and let me see your skinhead. At the end of the day, that is exactly what I would say about that. Absolutely. And yeah, those people are crazy at the end of the day. And you know what? We can't be overzealous in regards to this ownership. Some people are being a little bit too zealous and they're giving away a little bit about their personality. They really are. Thank you, Sanjay, for joining me. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today, of course. And they're giving away a little bit too much about their personality, in my opinion. And I'm seeing people, you know what, backing INEOS to the hill and back, regardless of what is going on at the moment, ignoring the fact what they're doing with normal workers at the club, you know, people who are losing their jobs. I don't know how you could be happy about that. I don't know how you can cover that up. I really don't. I don't know how you can try and spin a positive in regards to that, because I personally can't. I really can't. The bottom line is that they're doing all these moves. They're making all this mess. They have to make it sure it goes right. They have to make sure it goes right. They have to make sure that they get everything spot on, of course, guys. That is what it's all about. But you know what? At the moment, the negativity is way outweighing the positivity at the moment. And you can spin it however you want. You could be INEOS in however you want. At the end of the day, the facts don't lie. They are there for plain to see and what's going on at the moment. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Big up. Yeah. So, guys, big up. That is crazy. I mean, I just thought I'd bring that in because I have seen a lot of people talking about, you know, I mean, INEOS in a glowing light, ignoring what's going on at the moment, the complications of what they're doing, the actual sinister things that they're doing at this football club in regards to people who work at the football club. Exactly. Absolutely. Good morning, Kilo. How you doing? A really good performance at Ronaldo. Yeah. Good morning, my friend. How you doing? Very good morning to you. Good morning to you. So that's what I would say, because you know what? I do give these people, I listen to these people and I think, what are you talking about? You know what? And they're bringing up all these, you know what? When you have to justify something with paragraphs and bullet points, right? You really haven't got a clue, have you? You really ain't got a clue. You're trying to over justify their existence at the football club at the end of the day. If you have to write bullet points and you have to put all these things in paragraphs and things like that, try to that. It's pretty simple, guys. Let me get it very simple for you. They facilitated the Glazers. They put the Glazers there. They are the reason the Glazers are still here. The Glazers are our enemy. They are the reason they are still here. Listen, that is the bottom line. At the end of the day, no matter what you say and no matter how you're trying to paint it, how many paragraphs and bullet points you want to write, that is what it is, of course, guys. Now, guys, let me get on with the show properly. I want to get on with a transfer that Man United have been spoken about before. I have spoken about this before on the show, but a young player called Christos Mouzakidis. Christos Mouzakidis is a Greek player, one cap for Greece, who currently plays for Olympiacos. He is a central midfielder and is only worth around 3 million euros at the moment. He is 18 years old, should I say. 18 years old, young, highly sought after, a great prospect going forward. Christos Mouzakidis is a player that Manchester United are interested in. And of course, I did bring this name in a few weeks ago. Lightly, I brought in his name that Man United are looking at Christos Mouzakidis. And, I mean, this is what I mean about the scouting network. I mean, you know what? I don't mind this type of training if it pays dividends. If it does well, you know what I mean? You're going to be heralded a genius. If it does badly, you're going to say, look, we're just trying to penny pinch. You know, that is what it is at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Christos Mouzakidis currently playing for, obviously, the Olympiacos, who are probably the best Greek team, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think they're doing as well this season. In all fairness, guys. But yeah, his contract does expire in 2029. He only is around 3 million euros. But of course, the Manchester United tax will cover that, won't that? That'll end up being 20, wouldn't it? Let's be fair. That'll end up being 20 million euros. He's played all the way through the Greek national team, the Greek under 16s, 17s, 19s, 21s, and a very, very good player to boot. And what I would say is that keep an eye on Christos Mouzakidis, keep an eye on him. And you know what? You heard it here first, guys, on Stretford Post. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very, very much, of course. Christos Mouzakidis, of course, guys. Let's get through some of your comments, of course. Sniper Man, when does the UK time go normal? What do you mean normal? What do you mean normal? What's normal to you, Sniper Man? You mean you're normal, we're normal, or you're not normal? You might not be normal. We might be normal. The UK time it changes every year. Which is normal. What is normal at the end of the day? Jamie Vardy, hope it's not true, bro. At the end of the day, Kevin, do you know what? I would say this to you, Kevin, my friend. Do you know what? Don't count out anything in regards to INEOS, because INEOS are very, very, looking for that type of signing at the moment. We were looking at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, believe it or not. Do you know what I mean? And this shows where Manchester United are. And it's disgraceful, in my opinion. We need far better than the Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Jamie Vardy, players of that nature. Do you know what I mean? It's disgraceful where this football club, I mean, we're really heading under relegation with this ownership. I really do think so. I really do think that we are heading towards the wrong direction with this ownership. I don't think they're going to get us anywhere near a title challenge anytime soon. I'm looking at a decade at the moment. The way they're going all the way back to go forward. And we're broke, apparently. We're only broke because of you, Jim. We're only broke because of you. We're broke because of you. You took charge of the football club on your vanity project and you made us broke at the end of the day. Big up, Courtney. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Hope you're good. Good to see you, of course. GM, good morning, Michael. How you doing, Michael? Smiling. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing good, brother. Hope everything is good with you, of course. I meant when your stream 1 hour before your usual, like you used to. When the English time goes, that is in, I believe it is in March, end of March, Sniper Man. So I will be going, I think it's an hour. Isn't it an hour behind? Isn't it an hour behind? I think it is an hour forward, or it's an hour behind. I think it's an hour behind, to be honest with you. I think it is an hour behind. I'll be going back, of course, absolutely. What's wrong with Vardy? He's old, Sniper Man. He's old. And you know what? He's not a player that, not Leicester City don't even play him on the first team anymore. He's a substitute player for Leicester City at the moment. Comes on every now and then. He's past it, mate. And we're only looking at him because he might potentially be a free transfer. And that is not what Man United need to be looking at the moment. We don't need Vardy. What is the world coming to? Michael, do you know what? You know what the world's coming to, bro? You know what this is coming to? At the end of the day, this is coming to INEOS. This is what INEOS have done. They've taken charge of this football club on their vanity project. And you know what? This is what we get. You know, this is what we get. This is for all those people who are trying to justify, you know what I mean, their vanity project, of course. Absolutely. Kilo, hour forward at the end of March. Hour forward. Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. Hour forward at the end of March. So basically, I'll go back to English because my time is, I go by English time. I started Stretford Post on English time. So I'm going to go by English time. That's how I'm going to do it. So when the clocks change in England, I'll change as well. Hour forward, hour back, wherever it is, of course, guys. Absolutely. Thank you so much, though, for supporting. Of course, guys. Michael, Obi is our hope, not that old guy. You know what? I would say this, Michael. What I would say, I don't mind signing Jamie Vardy. I tell you right now, right? I don't mind as long as we, you know what, we think about the future as well. You know, there's no problem in having a striker that is a little bit over the moon, over the edge, should I say. But you know what? What I would say is that we do need to concentrate on the young strikers as well. There's no substitute for having experience in your squad. You do need experience in your squad, guys. You do. You do need that because we have got very young strikers at the moment. We got young strikers, and these young strikers need a little bit of experience around them, like someone who can nurture them into the players that they could potentially be. Now, look, very excited about Obi. He just wants to be known as Chido Obi, by the way, not Obi Martin. He wants to change. You know, we can't call him Chido Obi Martin anymore. It's Chido Obi. But Chido Obi is, you know what, very, very exciting, potentially generational. And I'm looking at Obi Martin. Oh, no, I can't say Martin, Chido Obi. And I'm looking at him right now, and I'm looking at him. I'm thinking, my goodness me, what an exciting prospect. Now, what better way to bring him in. Bring him in against Tottenham. Bring him in, even if it's 15 minutes, even if it's 20 minutes, bring him in the game. Because at the end of the day, you never know. The only concern that I have at the moment is our lack of creative possibilities around the pitch. We don't create enough for our strikers. So no matter what player you play up front, you're going to have problems if you don't have creativity. We have too many players that are too interested in running into dead ends or playing the hero ball, so to speak. If Obi Martin comes into the team, he doesn't get any balls. And then, you know what? You know, the thing with a striker, guys, with a striker, it's very easy to rank them low because strikers are ultimately judged on goals, isn't it? And it's a little bit unfair because when you look at how many balls he got in the box, or for example, Rasmus Højlund, right? Rasmus Højlund has the 5% least amount of balls into the box out of the whole of Europe. 5%. But he has the top 5% conversion rate. Can you believe that, guys? Can you believe that? Now, I don't want Chido Obi Martin to come in and he doesn't get any balls and then people start jumping on his back straight away and criticizing him and thinking he's not good enough. That's the only concern I have. Although I would bring him in 10, 15 minutes here and there, 20 minutes here, which I feel like will benefit him, of course. Absolutely. I don't know, man. We might get some much-needed experience striker position. I don't mind the experienced sniper man, but we also have to think about the future as well. I don't mind Vardy coming in as an option, right? I don't mind. He's injury-prone, and we don't want players that are injury-prone at the moment. He could come to Man United and he could be injured, you know what I mean? And then that obviously sucks up our FFP, our quota, of course. So we're going to have to be careful about that with these injured players. That is a problem that we have to face as well, of course. Score prediction for Sunday's game, Sal. It's going to be coming on the preview show later on at 6 o'clock, guys. 6 o'clock. Don't forget to join. Good afternoon for Singapore. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. He might mentor Højlund and Xerxes. Yeah, he might be injured. You don't know, Sniper Man. He might be injured. I don't see Vardy leaving Leicester City, though. You never know. You never know. You never know. He might leave Leicester. He might want another challenge. You know what I mean? I don't know. At the end of the day, no, you don't know. I don't know. We can always convince Ruud for Vardy. Yeah, we can. Ruud van Nistelrooy won't want to let him go, though. That's the thing. That is the biggest issue. Ruud won't want to let him go. It's very important for Ruud's survival, the survival of Leicester City. But Man United are looking at next season, not this season, of course. Absolutely. Is this all crying? I know. Well, there you go with your INEOS. We play him against Tottenham, even if for 10 minutes Rashford made his debut through when we played Arsenal, coming on Amram. Yeah, I would say that, Michael. You know what? I would say that. I'm absolutely on your page, bro. I'm on your page. At the end of the day, I'm definitely all for Obi Martin be given an opportunity. I prefer this type of thing than thinking about a 38-year-old going on 39. You know what I mean? I would prefer that, to be honest with you. I mean, I would say Man United, in regards to strikers, should be looking at 29, 30. If they want to bring in an experienced striker, they need to bring in like a 29, 30-year-old, not a 39, 40-year-old. That's what Man United need to do. That is getting over the top. There's over the top, then there's over the top. Do you know what I mean? So I would say that as long as it's like a backup for the squad, then that's fine. But you know what? I would be more concentrating on bringing through Chido Obi and seeing what he can do against Tottenham, against Ipswich, you know what I mean? Against Everton. You know, I want to see him because I'm so excited about this player. I haven't been this excited about a player for a long time, guys. I really haven't been this excited about a player like Chido Obi for a long time. You know, I feel like he can be a very good player. Look, there was a tweet that went out, an Arsenal tweet that went out a few days ago saying that Chido Obi would have got more games for Arsenal than he done at Man United right now. And you know what? That really hit home for me because you know what? Are Man United being a little bit petty? Are they being a little bit too careful with some players? Should we blood some of these players now? Should we bring some of these? It's a bit like what I was saying about Harry Amas. It's a bit like what I was saying about him, that, you know what, we could just stop playing Dalot and players like that and start playing Harry Amas and start playing some of the youth players, because at the end of the day, these players are not working. The first team players are not working. So what's the harm in trying something different with some of the young players, of course? So Google is showing Martinez will come back in the 2nd of January next year. Bloody hell, man. I know. I got some news on that. Bear me a second. And Shaw, 2nd of April. Thought he might come back. Forget Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, I'm tired of Luke Shaw. To be honest, Sniper Man, I'm really tired of him. I think he should be leaving the football club in the summer. I mean, I can't be thinking about Luke Shaw at the moment. This guy is such a weak, made of glass. What I would say, I'll say he's made of glass, and I'm tired of him. To be honest with you, we can't be carrying these players anymore. We're not a hospital. We're not A&E. We're with Manchester United at the moment, and you know Luke Shaw's been living off a wage for a very long time. I bet your bottom dollar, Sniper Man. I bet you this, right? If when he comes back in 2nd of April, he'll be fit for a week and then be injured again. Trust me, this is what Luke Shaw does. We got to move him on. We got Diego Leon and we got obviously Patrick Dorgu, who are going to take that mantle there on the left side of the pitch, you know. And to be honest with you, I don't want to see about Luke Shaw anymore. He's a waste. Absolutely. I will hang myself with Saivada. Don't go that far, Michael. We just got to know each other. Thank goodness me. Don't go that far. Anthony is scoring goals in La Liga. Yeah, he is scoring goals in La Liga because La Liga is an easier league. Rasta, it's an easier league than the Premier League. The Premier League is a different machine. You know, in La Liga, there's 2 teams, Real Madrid and Barcelona. In England, you've got loads. You know what I mean? Who can win the league? You know, and that is what it is. At the end of the day, don't want old gits at the club, low. Absolutely, Darren. There you go, Darren. There is your introduction to the stream, Darren. Absolutely, big up, Darren. Yeah. 38, 39, I think it's a little bit too old. I mean, when you're thinking about older players, I think about 29, 30. I don't think about 39, 40. Nah, I don't think about that. That is just ridiculous. Nah, that is just ridiculous. And if we're looking at 39, but let me tell you this, Darren, would you rather, let me bring this question into you. Would you rather Dominic Calvert-Lewin, right, from Everton, or would you rather Jamie Vardy? What would you rather? Yes, Anthony winning man of the match every single La Liga game because La Liga shit. Absolutely. I think every person who leaves becomes their prime. I think every one person who leaves us, you know, just finds their level sometimes. I think Anthony's found his level. I think the Liga is a lot easier for him to play in. The Premier League's harder. Defensively, the Premier League's harder. He can't do his cut in, but they're going to find him out sooner or later. Kone should be given a chance to play. He is what we in the midfield. So exciting to watch. You know what, Michael, I agree with you, brother. At the end of the day, I agree with playing some of these youngsters. I don't think there's any harm in playing these youngsters now. The Premier League is over. The Premier League, we, you know, people talk about relegation. We're 12 points from relegation, but you know what? I don't think there's any harm in bringing some of these players in. I really don't. And I think Man United should try and do that. I really do. And I think you're absolutely right, Michael. Absolutely. But La Liga, Ronaldo and Messi struggled. La Liga, Ronaldo and Messi struggled. What are you talking about, Sniper Man? Ronaldo scored more goals in history in La Liga, and so did Messi. What? Are you awake, Sniper Man? Good morning, everyone. Sal, who's your ideal goalkeeper for Man United? No, it's not making far too many mistakes so much. My ideal goalkeeper, Roy Michael, and this is a personal choice. I like Donnarumma. I think Donnarumma would be a brilliant goalkeeper for Manchester United. There's a couple of players I like there. I do like Vitek as well. There's a couple of players there, of course, who in goal would do better than Onana. There's Costa. A lot of people like Costa from Porto. Verbruggen of Brighton, he's another one that is pretty good. I mean, obviously, I was very disappointed when we sold Kova at Leverkusen. I thought he would have been a brilliant goalkeeper for Man United. I think we unnecessarily signed him, to be honest with you. There you go, Darren. Vardy. There you go. Not Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You saw you don't want Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You saw you don't want him. Is that what it is? There you go. Absolutely. Both made out of glass. Absolutely. Vardy, because he won the Premier League. Vardy won the Premier League nearly 10 years ago, Sniper Man. Why don't we get Paul Scholes back as well? Because he's closer to relegation than us. Absolutely. I meant they struggled. They struggling. No. The Liga is far easier, mate. Sniper Man. The Premier League is the hardest league in the world. You got Liverpool. You got Man City. You got Chelsea. You've got Arsenal. You've got, you know what I mean. You've got teams like Newcastle. You know, you've got teams up there in the Premier League right now. Aston Villa. You know what I mean. Look at the Champions League table and tell me. Absolutely. Kevin, I would take Jonathan David. Yeah, there's a problem with Kevin. There's a problem with Jonathan David. I don't know what it is. He is a free transfer at the end of the season, but I'm surprised that no one's looking at it. I'm surprised there's not much more conversation in regards to him, to be honest with you, at the end of the day. I'm surprised, at the end of the day. Man City is not the strong these days. They're not strong, but they're strong enough to be in the Champions League. You know, Spain is just Real Madrid and Barcelona. That's it. The only time you see Spain is Real Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona. That's the only time you see Spain. If you think about England, England have had more English finals than any country in Europe. They've had Chelsea against Man City. They've had Liverpool against Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? When's the Spanish finals coming out? Where are they at? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah. And Chelsea won the Champions League when they were fifth, wasn't it? Fifth or sixth? You know, Premier League is a lot more tougher. And Anthony is not that player. He was not good enough for Manchester United. He was not good enough. Not saying that these players that we have right now are good enough. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that he's not good enough for Man United. Let's get this clear. If we want to get to the way we want to get, there's a difference between playing for Manchester United and playing for Real Betis, right? The shirt on Manchester United weighs far more heavier than Real Betis, whoever Real Betis are at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Who are they? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're just a team from Andalusia. That's it. Second to Sevilla in regards to Andalusia. That's all they are at the end of the day. I mean, I remember Real Betis when they were in the 90s, when they had Jardine, should I say, and they had the likes of Denelson, and Denelson was their most top scorer, of course. Sal, Scousers are crying over the Everton game. We got more to moan about than them, but absolutely. Darren, do you know what? Man United have more decisions go against us than any other team in the Premier League. I think any other team in Europe. You know, some of the decisions that have gone against Man United have been contentions, have been ridiculous. I mean, no one can moan. They can't moan. I don't want to hear them moan. They made their bed. When we moan, they don't want to listen, do they? But they made their bed. They should lay in it. They get more penalties than any other team in Europe. More penalties than any other team in Europe, in my opinion. And no, not my opinion, it's actual fact. They do get more penalties, especially in recent years. They've had a number of penalties. Absolutely. Big up, Trigger Kim. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. My thoughts on youth signings. If we cannot play them in the Carabao Cup games or even the FA Cup, it's a waste. Integrate them in the team like the Class United did, the first team. Let me say something about this, Kim, and I want you to please, because I was there during the Class 92, right, at the games. I would say this. There's a big difference between bringing in players with Roy Keane, Peter Schmeichel, Eric Cantona, Ryan Giggs, Andy Cole, Dennis Irwin, Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, than there is bringing in players with Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw on the deathbed, you know, Mainu, who's a young kid. Then you got, you know, Hoyland, Bruno. You know, there's a big difference there, isn't there? So when you bring in players into a team, right, that are not serial winners, right? We're not serial winners. We have not challenged for the league in years. It can actually do more harm than good, because you're looking left, you see a player hasn't won the league. You look right, you see a player hasn't won the league. Do you know what I mean? And that is the problem. So what we got to do, we got to slowly drift out these old players and try and bring in a new culture, try and bring in a new team. And by doing that, we can't just throw in 11 young players in there. We maybe can throw one or two. But the problem with Chido Obi, these type of players, is that they're going to be judged on goals. And when you've got players who cannot assist, who cannot create, it's going to be more harmful for them. I would like to see Chido Obi on my team. I'd like to see Kone. I would like to see Aiden Heaven as well. I would like to see Lasare. I like to see all these players playing for the football club. Lacey, Fletcher. You know, but we have to be careful as well, because this team can do more harm than good to these young players. It's more to do with those players than the young players. It's more to do with the current players than young players, of course. Borussia Dortmund goal, morning, Sal. Good keeper. I would not mind him. Yeah, he's not bad. Lies around me. There's a number of options, of course. There's many people have their different opinions about the goalkeepers and stuff. I would just like a goalkeeper who's competent. That's it. That's all I would like. Someone who can rely on. Someone you don't feel anxiety every time they get the ball. Do you know what I mean? I want someone who, you know what, it gives you an air of ease and calm, of course. Michael, when I see people praising Anthony, then I'm beginning to laugh. That guy is a scam. After all, playing time given to him by that. At the end of the day, Michael, we have to accept, you know, you're absolutely right, that Anthony was not good enough for Manchester United. And sometimes just because a player does a couple of tap-ins or maybe a one assist in the Liga, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that he was good enough for Manchester United. He was not good enough for Manchester United. And there are many players right now not good enough for Manchester United. Only those with an IQ of mine and yours, Michael, know that. Do you know what I mean? That he was not good at Manchester United, of course, at the end of the day. What about De Gea? He said he would come back to under any manager rather than Ten Hag. De Gea's not coming back. I don't think so. Absolutely not. He's happy in Italy, I heard. I thought Butt was in the class of 92. Nicky Butt was in the class of 92. Sniper Man, yes, I was there. Absolutely. You weren't born, Sniper Man. Absolutely. So what happened to Liverpool was justified. Now they know how we feel with penalty against West Ham. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But one thing I would say, guys, forget about Liverpool. Forget about Liverpool. Forget it. We're not in a position to be laughing at Liverpool, guys. I hate Liverpool, but we're in no position to be laughing at them. We just make ourselves look stupid. You know what I mean? Posting Instagram posts and that about Liverpool, that's not who we are. At the end of the day, we need to concentrate on ourselves. We're pretty bad, right? At the moment, they're in the Champions League next round. They won the league in the Champions League. They're top of the Premier League, 7 points. We just need to be quiet because, you know, one thing I would say is that we're going to end up having egg in our face. Do you know what I mean? And we don't want that. Of course, Trigger Gim. Then if it's that's the case, we shouldn't be bamboozled by the recent signings because they shall be wasted. What is INEOS' plan? Because so far they just look like cheap means. At the end of the day, Trigger Kim, I can't believe that there are people out there trying to defend INEOS. I can't believe that this is actually a thing. People are using graphs, bullet points, things like that to try and defend INEOS. It's disgraceful. When they are making people redundant, right? When they are making people unemployed on 20 grand a year, right? On 20 grand a year, they're making people unemployed and people are still supporting them. Disgraceful. It shows you the character of them, to be honest with you, at the end of the day. But Cobel, Cobel is 80 million plus, or maybe 50 million. Right, guys, let me bring this in, guys, real quickly. I want to bring in some news in regards to Manchester United and some quotes and stuff like that, if you don't mind. Guys, let's get this in there. Let's go. Okay, right. Serhil Geraci was an option for Manchester United in the January 2024, but the club decided a 14.6 million release clause was too high for a 27-year-old who had not sit form before in his career. Who not hit such form before in his career. Guys, there you go. Penny pinching, INEOS. These are the type of signings, like I was signing, some of the January failings that we could have had in the summer. Look, any signing for Manchester United would have been welcome in the January window because Man United are very short, especially on the attacking options. Right, this is the type of deals that we were going for in January, and these deals were rebuffed or they couldn't afford it. And obviously, this is what INEOS are at the end of the day. Data analysis suggests that Rasmus Højlund could be a solution for Manchester United striker position. This is supported by FBREF, FBREF, which provides detailed statistics indicating the potential stability based on performance metrics. Now, this is the type of thing I want to talk about, guys, because I want to talk about Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund has 5% of the least amount of balls into the box, right? He also has the 5% top conversion rate. So when you're bringing through young players, for example, or even experienced players, how are those experienced or young players gonna score goals when they don't get balls? If you know what I mean. If they don't get any service, how are they going to score goals? That's what I would say, which is a very, very important point because they're not going to score goals without obviously supply, of course. Given Manchester United's financial position, there might be temptation to look for free agency market with Calvert-Lewin and Jamie Vardy both out of contract in the summer. That thought would go against the plan for youth. That though, yeah, exactly. And this is the contradiction that we're talking about. So when news like this comes out, I do think about their plan. Their plan was to bring through young players, wasn't it? It's to bring through younger players and build up the next Mbappe. Like they said, they wanted to build the next Mbappe. Do you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, looking at the likes of Vardy and Calvert-Lewin, that's not going to do that. I much rather prefer getting some of those young kids in there. Lisandro Martinez has undergone surgery to repair torn anterior cruciate ligament. The initial signs are that the surgery was successful. Fantastic, of course. Recovery periods can range from anywhere between 6 months and a year. Oh, guys, it's such a sad situation, this. Our best player, probably one of our best players this season, and you know what? He's injured up to a year, guys. Can you believe this? How devastating. I mean, we can't catch a break when it comes to injuries, can we? I mean, it's sad. It's very, very sad, of course. Surgery completed today for Sandro Martinez, and Manchester United staff decided to proceed after the Achilles injury. His season is already over, and Lingard will try to be back before the end of the year 2025, but precise timing will depend on recovery rehab process. It's going to be a long time, guys. I'm looking at nearly a year. And this is sad. Of course, this is not what we wanted. Of course, guys, absolutely not. It's true. In regards to Barcelona president Deco, of course, Deco was a fabulous player for Barcelona. You remember him? It is true that we were talking about Marcus Rashford, and it was a possibility signing, but he couldn't come. We weren't desperately looking for a signing. He was not a priority. So there you go. They said he wasn't a priority. So that is one of the signings that they quite possibly wanted to sign. But obviously, I think Barcelona pretty well stacked in that position, if I'm being totally honest with you. Pretty well stacked in that position, guys. So that is some of the news which has been floating around recently. So there you go. And really disappointed about Lisandro Martinez. Absolutely devastated, if we're being honest with ourselves. Great player, been a fantastic player this season, of course. Let's have a look at some of your comments, of course. Kobe, let's go for John O'Connor. INEOS 12 billion in debt. They need to sell. INEOS need to get out of this football club, to be honest with you. I'm tired of their negativity. And all those fans who are backing them, they can go as well. Because at the end of the day, if you're feeling no sympathy with people who are losing their job, if you're using bullet points and little paragraphs to justify why INEOS are good for this football club, then maybe this is not the football club for you, and maybe you need to go into accounting. And I've seen those people on Twitter, today, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, these guys are absolute pathetic at the end of the day, guys, at the end of the day. Pathetic. And how can you be supporting that? I do not know. I absolutely do not know. Now, look, guys, I want to bring this into the quote. This was from Jesse Lingard. We all remember Jesse Lingard, don't we? This is from Jesse Lingard on Twitter yesterday. Please explain to me, Paul and Marcus destroyed Manchester United's culture. Please explain how Paul and Marcus destroyed Manchester United's culture. Guys, this one's for you guys. How did Jesse Lingard, Paul Pogba and Marcus Rashford destroy the culture at Man United? Now, I'm going to give my opinion. When Sir Alex Ferguson left the football club, right? When Sir Alex Ferguson left the football club, we were winners, right? And then the next in line came in, the likes of Marcus Rashford, the likes of Jesse Lingard, and then obviously later it was Paul Pogba. Now, these players, right, they would lose a game on a Saturday and come into training dancing on a Monday. That's what they would do, right? They would be dancing. They don't care about the football club. That is a culture, right? Let me explain to you. That is a culture. We have nothing against dancing. We have nothing against enjoying yourself. We don't, but you're not at Man United to enjoy yourself, bruv. You know what I mean? I've seen him on that Twitter post talking about we're here to enjoy ourselves. You're not there to enjoy yourself, mate. You're there to win titles. You're there to win Champions Leagues. That is why you're destroying the culture. There's your culture for you, right? That you don't understand. And this is precisely why we got rid of you, because you don't understand what the culture is. Man, do you think Roy Keane went in after losing against whoever team, dancing, laughing, giggling? Do you think he did that? Now, you ask yourself why Roy Keane was a serial winner, why Roy Keane won a treble, why Roy Keane won up-teen amounts of Premier League titles. Ask yourself that question, Mr. Lingard. Ask yourself, right? You did not understand the culture. Pogba did not understand the culture, and Rashford did not understand the culture at the end at this football club, because they didn't challenge for a league. You didn't challenge for a league, and that is why you don't understand the culture, and you destroyed Man United's culture. Not just you. But since you're bringing it to the table, you had a big part to play in it with all the other players that have underachieved at this football club. That is how you destroyed the culture. And you know, I cannot fathom how you don't understand this. I cannot fathom how you, being a professional footballer, you know, being raised at Man United, brought up at Man United, you can't understand that. You can't understand what Man United's culture, right, is 1958. The disaster and tragedy that happened in 1958, and 10 years later winning the Champions League, European Cup back then. Or a few years later winning the league title. Do you know what I mean? Or in 1963 winning the FA Cup. That is a Man United culture, right? Your culture is this, right? You couldn't get up in the morning. You're either crying about your missus leaving you, or you're doing something else. You know what I mean? You want to practice your dance. Do you know what I mean? Or kiss a turkey, whatever. I know that was Patrice Evra, whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, you couldn't get yourself up on a Monday morning, let alone battle a tragedy like the Munich disaster and win a European Cup 10 years later, or an FA Cup 4 years later, or the league 6 years later. That is the difference between you and them. And this is what culture is at the end of the day. It's surprising I have to really explain this to people. It's madness, isn't it? If they don't get balls, yeah. Højlund should move better to get into good positions. Sanjay, he does. He does. So does Xerxes. Xerxes doesn't score goals. He scores one here and there. I mean, he's done a little bit better than Rasmus. But at the end of the day, how can you get into good positions if you're not getting the balls? Let me give you some examples from the weekend. Just look at the game at the weekend. Look at the Man United's last game. Look at Man United's last game and look at how many balls that we could have passed to Rasmus and he could have had a tap in. Look at that. You know what I mean? It's not just we can't get them into positions. No, that is Glazonomics. That's being sympathetic to the players who are not creating, because those players are not creating. They're taking too many touches on the ball. They're playing hero balls, etc. You know, it's not just about, you know what, Højlund, move into the ball, get into positions. No, that's not how football works at the end of the day. IQ, guys, come on, IQ. Galatasaray, who was the first leg in the playoff round? Galatasaray, who was the first leg in the playoff round? Galatasaray, who was the first leg in the playoff round? AZ Alkmaar last night, 4-1 to AZ Alkmaar. Let's all wish the butcher of Manchester United safe and recover. Absolutely, absolutely. Big up everyone, Sal. I think Lingard has made you upset and disappointed. I think you should dance it off. Absolutely, mate. I don't dance to dead beats. I don't dance to dead beats. I actually was in the music industry 20 years. I actually work with talented musicians and dancers. So I don't need to dance. My work speaks for itself, mate. Just go on there. Go online. Find it. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, I don't dance to dead beats. Yeah, absolutely. Losing is a dead beat. I mean, Jesse Lingard liked to dance to losing. So I don't know how you do that. How do you dance to losing? I mean, I couldn't get myself up for doing that. Absolutely. You're right. The passing should be better as well. Passing, everything should be better. Everything should be better. It's very difficult for a striker to score goals. And ultimately, this is why I'm saying don't bring in strikers like young players if we're not going to learn to pass the ball to them. Because if we bring in CHIDO, Obi, we bring in him and he doesn't get balls and he doesn't score for 3 or 4 games, everyone, trust me, everyone's going to be jumping on him. Everyone's going to be jumping on him, and all that's going to do is ruin his confidence. That's all that's going to do. And you know what? It's not going to benefit us going forward. Big up, though, Sanjay. It's a team sport. Absolutely. Absolutely. Instead of blaming Højlund and other player, we have to get them a time and believe to improve the game to play. I know in a club like United, it's not possible, but we have to. At the end of the day, Paul, you know what? Football's not as simple as you know, some people make it out to be. You know, sometimes you need to look at things from a bird's eye perspective and say, well, you know what? Look at it in context. He's not getting the balls. You know what? Maybe he could do better run there. Maybe he could do that. But I can give you upteenth amounts of examples when a man of the match display has turned into a poor display because he didn't get the pass that he should have got in the box. And he's waiting there. He's doing this. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. And they don't give him the ball. Football, you know what? At the end of the day, is a team sport. As Sanjay said, it is a team sport. And we're not playing as a team. I truly believe that. I believe, especially our attackers, they're very concentrated on just, you know what, taking touches on the ball, cutting in and shooting. You know, the one thing I'll give praise about Garnacho recently. Garnacho has been trying to cross the ball. As he said, he created a goal for Xerxes. That's what happens when you cross the ball. We haven't been doing that enough. When you look at Man United over the successful years, Ryan Giggs and David Beckham, what they used to do, they used to cross the ball in a sixpence. And you know what? The opposition defense didn't have a chance. You know, because we get that ball into the box. And, you know, when you've got strikers there attacking the ball, it's very difficult to defend, you know, and we don't do that enough. We're more intent in trying to score goals, trying to be an individual hero, etc., etc. And this is why we're not going to go forward if we keep doing that. Roy Michael, Sal, you seem very interested, a very interesting person. I'd love to read your autobiography if you ever did one. God bless. Thank you, Roy Michael. I could write an autobiography. I was in the music industry 20 years. Worked with the likes of Shady Records and, you know, G Unit and things like that. You know, as much as people want to, you know, ignore it. You know, I did. And to be honest with you, my work is online anyway. But I met a lot of people, got a lot of stories about certain people, and you'd be intrigued to hear. I might put some on my membership videos very soon. Obviously, this channel is obviously catered to football, but I will bring in some things on my membership video in regards to, you know, like my past and stories I've had. And they are quite good, to be honest with you. If you had the time, of course, guys, absolutely. Sorry, I meant to say Galatasaray lost the first leg. Guys, yeah, they lost 4-1 to AZ Alkmaar. Yeah, so Man United could possibly be playing AZ Alkmaar in the next round of the Europa League. Now, let's not get it twisted. Galatasaray went down to 10 men after the 51st minute. So obviously I think they were 2-1 down at that point. So when it 51st minute, they went down to 10 men, they conceded another couple of goals. I would fancy our chances against AZ Alkmaar, but you know what? We can't take anything for granted. You know, we played them before and we struggled against them before. Do you remember? Who remembers that? Do you know what I mean? We have been down that road before with these Dutch teams. Just because they're Dutch doesn't mean we're going to just roll them over, come in there and steamroll them. But Man United could quite possibly be playing AZ Alkmaar in the next round. And you know what? Not a bad draw. Not a bad draw. I think it's between Galatasaray, Tottenham. We can't play Tottenham, but I think we can play AZ Alkmaar. If I'm being honest, if I'm correct in saying so, guys. If I'm correct in saying so, absolutely. I don't know why my profile picture. I've got a little picture. My picture's not coming up on the thing, but anyway, it doesn't matter. And that's all good. That's all good, guys. So I want to know more about your feelings about Jesse Lingard and that tweet. I want to let you know. I want your guys' opinion on that, because I think it's very important that we understand what Man United are and who we are, of course, guys. Absolutely. But I started the show off in talking about Greek player Christos. His name is Christos Mouzakitis. Christos Mouzakitis is a central midfielder who plays for Olympiacos, got one cap for Greece, 18 years old, central midfielder. Manchester United are looking to do a deal with Olympiacos for that player. It would only set Manchester United back around €3 million. Of course, this signals what the type of player what Man United are looking for at the moment, which is cheap as chips. Basically, cheap as chips. That's what we're looking for at the moment, of course, guys. So that is the player we're getting, of course. That's in the past. What's in the past, my friend? What's in the past? What's in the past, Kilo? I want to know. What do you mean? What's in the past? Absolutely. Absolutely. What's in the past, Kilo? Please explain to me what's in the past, because what's in the past doesn't mean anything. It just says what's in the past. Many things are in the past. You know what I mean? Many things are in the past. You being born was in the past. You know, everything was in the past. What's in the past? Absolutely. Tell me. 3 million INEOS should be. So what's in the past, Kilo? Come on, tell me, Kilo. I want to know an insightful thing. What is in the past? Because you know what I mean. I want to know. Please tell me. Thank you very much, and then I'll get on with the other comments. Absolutely. So yeah, definitely. So whilst Kilo is trying to explain to me what things is in the past, what I would say to you guys is that, you know what? Would you risk Chido Martin? Chido Obi, as he wants to know. Would you risk him in the game against Tottenham? Would you give him 30 minutes or 15 minutes? It's going to be difficult to do that. I mean, I know it is going to be difficult to do that. It's going to take a risk. This proves to you how he was so, Alex Ferguson was so brave and so bold when he did that. And it was brave. You know, he took chances. You know what I mean? And that is the type of bravery I think we need these days. SLD. I read INEOS didn't even show up for their lawsuits with the New Zealand rugby team. They didn't even show up for Dennis Law's funeral, SLD. So I don't think they're going to show up to their own bills at the end of the day. You know, they're just a mess. They're a disgraceful mess at the end of the day. They're a disgraceful mess. And to be honest with you, I'm not interested in people defending them anymore, because they are what they are. Do you know what I mean? A disgraceful mess. And they took charge of this football club even though they couldn't afford it. You know, they purchased a percentage of this football club even though they couldn't afford it. And they're proving that they can't afford it now, looking at the likes of Calvert-Lewin and Jamie Vardy and players like that. You know what I mean? This is why Man United are going to continue falling further behind. This is why Man United are going to continue falling further behind, precisely because of the Glazers, of course. I'm still waiting for what's in the past, Kilo. You're not telling me. You're not telling me what's in the past. You got to explain yourself, Mr. India. Absolutely, you got to explain yourself. What's in the past? Absolutely, guys. I don't like comments that antagonizing, but they're not explained. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we don't do that on this channel. Absolutely not, guys. Yeah. So at the end of the day, yeah, that is what it is. If he's talking about my music industry in the past, if you want to talk about my music industry, if I was in the past, that's actually not the past. Actually, I still do music. I still am a ghostwriter for various artists around the world. Just if you want to know that, but you know what, you don't want to. If you want to try and downplay anything, please explain yourself. Absolutely, guys. So, but don't be a coward. Absolutely. Big up the show. Big up Abdullah. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you, mate. Absolutely good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Big up. He should be lucky that he played for the club and won anything. Just look where he's playing a career as a fall from grace. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Jesse Lingard, and we actually had Jesse Lingard fanboys and girls. We actually had that, didn't we? I mean, unbelievable that we had people who actually defended Lingard. Oh, he was awful. He's crap. That, as simple as that. He was crap. He was rubbish. He was rubbish at the end of the day. He came in with the odd important goal, but as a player, my goodness me, he's just such an average player. Oh my goodness me. You know what I mean? I cannot fathom how we managed to play him. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I cannot fathom how we managed that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. It is really unbelievable that the likes of Jesse Lingard were heralded as some sort of heroes at Man United when they were at Man United all those years. I mean, South Korea is his level. You know what I mean? West Ham was his level. We could have went to West Ham. We lost a lot of money on Lingard because we didn't sell him in the first place. We should have sold him in the first place, and then we ended up not selling him. Do you know what I mean? And, lost about 25 million, I think it was, wasn't it, at the time? Ridiculous, really. The way we've been run as a football club, it is ridiculous, guys. Absolutely. Really, really, really poor. Really, really poor, if I'm being honest with you guys. Really poor. But, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, there we go, guys. Yeah, SLD. Lingard was average at best, more focused about coming out with a new guy. He's more focused on social media. And you know what? That's fair enough. But you can't play for Man United if you want to be a social media personality at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And that is what he is. He's dancing around in South Korea at the moment. You know what I mean? That is what Man United are. Especially when you lose a game. And, Jose Mourinho is the manager. And Jose Mourinho is a serial winner, And when you come in the training in the morning, the night before, you've just lost the game, and then you're dancing, doing all these things, and you also come in late to training, then obviously, come on. You know what I mean? What do you want? At the end of the day, what do these guys want? It's like Jadon Sancho with freedom. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, who does he think he is? George Michael? Goodness me. He's absolute, he's a bloody joker. You know what I mean? Freedom. My God. Freedom to have 4 months off work paid. Do you know what I mean? Because you're feeling a little bit low, under the weather. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is at the end of the day. Madness at the end of the day. So I don't think Kilo Alpha can let me know about what is in the past. He's not going to let me know. Yeah, absolutely not. I don't think he's going to let me know what's in the past, of course. But that's it. You know what I mean? Some people just don't. Some people talk. Yeah, so at the end of the day, guys, look, we got Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday. There will be a video dropping at 6 o'clock today about the match build-up of Tottenham against Manchester United. And we'll have to wait and see, of course. Marino knows that he's talking about he had to manage Balotelli. Marino knows what he's talking about. He also spoke about Luke Shaw, didn't he? He spoke about Martial. He spoke about all these players who get a little bit of a knock and then are out for weeks, didn't he? I mean, he was talking about Luke Shaw a long time ago, and many people defended Luke Shaw. Many people defended Anthony Martial, and I mean, I was like, well, you know what? I was like, you know what I mean? But look at Luke Shaw since then. Look at the way Luke Shaw, has been just down tooling since he's been at Man United, earning a wage. Some people say he's going to be back in April. He's going to be back in April. Yeah, he'll be back for a week. He'll play one game and then he'll be out for another few months. This is what he does to keep the cycle rolling so that his contract runs down. That is what he's doing at the end of the day, man. When these guys, they're not interested in Man United, and this is the culture that we're talking about. This culture, Luke Shaw culture, Mason Mount culture. Do you know what I mean? Martial culture, that type of culture that we're talking about at Man United. That, you know what? Man United's culture is winning. Man United's culture is being available. And Man United's culture is given 100% regardless. We cannot look at ourselves dead in the eye and say that Man United give 100%. I can't say that this Man United team give 100%, even this Man United team. I can't say that they you know what, they go out on a limb on the pitch. Every time they go on the pitch, they left everything on the pitch. Like when we used to do, you know, you would know, even when we lost the game, we gave everything on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Luke Shaw is our new Phil Jones. Absolutely. Luke Shaw is our new Phil Jones. Luke Shaw is, and SLD. Let's not forget about Mason Mount as well. Is he becoming, when do we start judging Mason Mount on the same page as Luke Shaw, on the same bracket as Luke Shaw? When do we start doing that? Do you know what I mean? Luke Shaw, Mason Mount. This is the culture. This is the culture that we're talking about, you know, that are ruining the culture. It's not just Rashford and Pogba and Lingard. It is Mason Mount and Luke Shaw and Lindelof and these type of players that are affecting the culture of Man United, because they're not interested. They're just interested in getting their pay packet at the end of the week and staying at the football club where they get that pay packet, wait until their contract to run down. And that is the culture as well. It is a whole bunch of things. But, you know, I would say that every single person, every player that has played for Man United that has not challenged for a league title or Champions League in the last 11, 12 years are part of the problem, Some done better than others, but ultimately they have not done good enough. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And they haven't challenged for the league title like Man United should be challenging for league titles, of course. Zaga, waka, 60 million down the drain. Mason is injured again. Send him back to Chelsea. Send him back to Chelsea, SLD. Send him back to Chelsea. Can you do that at the end of the day? INEOS can't throw ruthlessness without the players, but have corners when it involves ordinary, hardworking staff. Goals for George. Exactly what I'm talking about, my friend. Exactly. Great comment. They got the cojones to sack people on 20 grand a week on mortgages and stuff like that. But when it comes to players, they ain't got it. Because you know why they are? They're elitists, Goal for George. They're elitists. They're elitists. They only care about the rich man. That's all they care about. They don't care about the working class. Do you know what I mean? They don't value them, which is disgraceful. Everyone knows that, you know what, great ownership starts with a manager and an ownership that value every single employee, even at the bottom. You know what I mean? Mount wears number 7. He wants to be better. I mean, at the end of the day, when I think about Mason Mount being given a number 7 shirt, SLD, it is one of the most disgraceful things to ever happen. I mean, what a downgrade. What a downgrade on David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo and Eric Cantona, those type of players. Do you know what I mean? What a downgrade, putting Mason Mount there. Not only it wasn't only a bad transfer, but to give him the number 7 shirt, to put that extra little bit of spice on the transfer, that extra little bit of pressure on Mason Mount as well. You know, it's disgraceful, to be honest. And for Man United not to look at Mason Mount's injury record, he just had a pelvis operation, I believe it was. It was a pelvis operation. And we all know that when you have a pelvis operation, there are knock-on effects with that, rebound effects in regards to pelvis operations. And I believe that is happening to Mason Mount. And we should have looked at that. We should have studied that before we jumped into signing him. Do you know what I mean? For 50 million, guys. 50 million. I mean, it's disgraceful. When you think about that, I mean, I think about this, it just blows my mind how we could possibly do that. Number 7 is a heavy shirt. I remember when Valencia gave up the number 7. Yeah, players do give it up. SLD, it's a heavy shirt. People don't understand it, but we've given that shirt a lot of disrespect over the years. We gave it to Memphis Depay, if you remember, Angel Di Maria. We gave it to, obviously, we're giving it to Mason Mount. You know, we've given that shirt a lot of disrespect over the years. And, Eric Cantona, George Best, and Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham have worn that great number 7 shirt and worn it with justly and worn it with pride and succeeded in that shirt. And we've really kind of ruined the legacy. We're ruining the legacy of that shirt. To be honest with you, we're ruining the legacy of that shirt. You know what I mean? And it was, unfortunately, you know what? We need to regain that legacy. We need to regain that legacy. Some people talk about, we can't. It's lost its value. For me, it's never going to lose its value because the history will always be there in regards to it. And we've had great players who worn that shirt, and it will never be disregarded. And that shirt should always be worn with respect, of course. Personally, I feel that Mount is the worst signing than Casemiro, but he is protected and nobody mentions in the media. We get season up. Goals for George, I can't disagree. I can't disagree with that. I would say that he is a worse signing than Casemiro. Yes, because Casemiro gave us a couple of good years. Goals for George. Casemiro gave us one good season at least, and he scored in a League Cup final, didn't he? And I wouldn't say that. I do believe that, the media ignored that. They ignored the fact that Mason Mount signed for 50 million and has not played a single game of football. Really and truly, you can count on one hand or how many games of football he's played for this football club. And to be honest with you, it was a disgraceful signing and it should be called out. It should be called out, guys. It absolutely should. But you know what? They're not going to call it out, are they? They're going to mention about Casemiro and players like that, and Rasmus Højlund and players like that players who are fit and available. Do you know what I mean? Always available. You know, people can say what they like about Garnacho. He's always available. You know what I mean? Then again, well, his stats are pretty good this season. If we're being fair, his stats are pretty good. You know what I mean? But at least the best form of ability is availability. As I've always said, the best form of ability is availability. And if they're available, you know what I mean? That's better than being sat on the bench or sat in the treatment room doing nothing on 50. On how much money is he earning a week? 250 a week, 300,000 a week. Unbelievable how we can make that deal. I mean, that was not on INEOS. I'm not going to blame INEOS for that. That was obviously Murta and Woodward. Of course, that should never have happened, that deal. Absolutely not. It was a disgraceful deal, and we should have went far away from that deal as possible, guys. Absolutely. But we have made the mistakes, and hopefully Man United don't make any further mistakes like that. But one thing I would say is that I don't want us to go so far on the other side, which is like signing the likes of Vardy and Calvert-Lewin and players like that. These players, Calvert-Lewin, could, at the end of the day, couldn't. It's just not that player, guys. He's not that player that we need. They've got that. I remember when Man United signed Heinrich Larsson. Do you remember when Man United signed Heinrich Larsson? Heinrich Larsson, obviously a prolific scorer for Celtic and Barcelona and Sweden. You remember we signed him? That type of signing, I don't mind, because you're adding a great experience into the squad. You're adding a know-how into the squad. A know-how about European football, about scoring goals around the world and stuff like that. You're adding that. When you look at Calvert-Lewin, what are you adding to this football club? You're adding another, a weak player who can't score goals, who's not a winner. Again, certain players are protected for some odd reason. Look at Grealish, 100 million. And we all know why it is SLD. We all know why it is. But you know what? To be honest with you, it is sinister, and there is sinister things that happen, and that is an absolute fact at the end of the day. Grealish, 100 million. Obviously that gets covered up because obviously, for example, if Man United won the league, and Man United won the Champions League, things will be a little bit ignored, isn't it? Things will be ignored a lot more. But the fact that Man United are not successful at the moment is the fact why people are getting highlighted, and especially foreign players are getting highlighted as well, which is not right. Everyone should be judged equally. Everyone should be judged the same as the next man, isn't it? At the end of the day, guys, I would say that. Absolutely. So Mr. Kilo has not told me what was in the past yet. He has not told me still. He's still trying to work it out. He's like this. He's like that. He can't work it out. If we sign Vardy at 38, INEOS would become a meme and should just build a nursing home near Carrington to show that we had it. Absolutely. Goals for George. He's finished. I mean, I don't mind signing players on 28, 29, 30 even. You know what I mean? We've done that in the past. We've done that, obviously, with a couple of other players as Zlatan Ibrahimovic and things like that. I don't mind that. But when you're talking about Jamie Vardy, nearly 40, guys, and he's not a Cristiano Ronaldo 40. He's a 40, i.e. he's a 40-year-old player that should be playing in the Championship now and League One. You know what I mean? He shouldn't be at Man United. And when we're thinking about that, it does obviously fill you with a little bit of concern, doesn't it? If we're actually looking at players like that. Yeah, I mean, and it is crazy when you think about it, guys. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, the whole community, and thank you everyone who's dropped in some comments. Please don't watch out. Please watch out for the video later on that I'll be uploading the match preview between Manchester United and Tottenham, guys. Thank you everyone who's taken the time out to subscribe and smash a like. Very important that you smash a like, guys. If you guys can do that for me, it'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. I'm closing in on 8,000 now. 8,000 subscribers. Fantastic. And we keep going, we keep moving up, and we keep moving. And you know what? Big game on Sunday, and hopefully we have a little bit more positivity to talk about. We do need to beat Tottenham. I know that the league is not important at the moment in regards to where we are in the league. We're not going to qualify for Europe. We're not going to get relegated. And you know what? it's like we're sort of stuck in limbo at the moment. But you know what? It would be nice to have a good performance. It would be nice to bring through a couple of young players into the team, giving them 20 minutes here, 50 minutes here. That would be good as well, of course, guys. Chido Obi Marti, Chido Obi, of course, I would give him 20 minutes, and that is my opinion on that. It is Chido time. I think we need to bring him in for 15, 20 minutes at least, guys. Absolutely. Big up SLD. Thank you for your input today. Thank you very much, everyone, of course, who's joined me on this stream. Have a fabulous day, guys, and I'll see you soon. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video, guys. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy. Have a fabulous day. Take it easy.